It's kinda a trigger warning and also a chance for the kids to click away onto another video. "Hey kiddo, this is a boring video. It's for your parents. I'm not going to tell them that you shouldn't be able to watch Wolf King, but I am going to give them a heads up on some things they might feel the need to explain. And I'm going to start off with a spoiler for the very last episode of season 1. This video isn't for you kids who want to watch this show with no spoilers. Disclaimer: I haven't read the books and they're not currently available in my library app, so I'm just going off the show. But I imagine the show's problems are reflections of problems in the book. If you read the books, feel free to chime in the comments. Let's get right to it. How do I say this? We first meet the Queen of the Lion Kingdom in the ultimate or penultimate episode, and she is obviously under the influence of a zombie-esque potion where she just keeps repeating herself and sitting there doing nothing. The spell gets broken by the kids in the show, but along the way we learn that this queen is Drew's mother from the Wolf Kingdom. And when she finally snaps out of the effects of the potion in the last episode and she starts chanting, "Long live the wolf," and reveals her true loyalties, Lucas, the prince of the Lion Kingdom, says, "Mother?" Immediately, a scenario unraveled in front of me where this woman has been under that spell since the fall of the Wolf Kingdom, who she's obviously loyal to and prefers, and before the rise of the Lion Kingdom, and 1 plus 1 plus 2 equals a one-way trip to Ixville. This woman was wronged in the worst ways. But how does this show treat other women? Given the fact that this queen is a wolf, and the whole thing with Drew is that he's somehow going to regain power from the lions solely because he's the last and only wolf, not going well for the other female characters either, I'm afraid. Wolf King doesn't even pass the Bechdel-Wallace test. It's not quite as bad for anybody else, but it's heavily implied that the same fate the queen suffered is what awaits Gretchen if she were to marry Lucas.
All you need to do is sit and smile for the rest of your life.
Is your portrait quite straight? Because it looks a little off.
Is it?
A casual observer may see the females here: bio mom, adoptive mom, love interest, tomboy, and a princess, and think, that sure is a spectrum of trope characters. An even more casual observer may see Gretchen, the prime and proper princess character, using her brains and throwing fists and think, well, that's nice. Women kick butt too, see? But I'll let Knuckles from Sonic Boom elaborate on how that really feels.
It all comes down to this one penalty kick. Can the young woman break the glass ceiling and prove once and for all that a female can be just as good an athlete as a male?
You know, Amy, anytime someone calls attention to the breaking of gender rules, it ultimately undermines the concept of gender equality by implying that this is an exception and not the status quo. What? Just because I'm a meathead doesn't mean I'm not a feminist.
Whitley is interested in pursuits the world deems as for men: scouting, fighting. She reminded me of Princess Cimmerian from Dealing with Dragons, a much better piece of media. She took a turn into the realm of trans-masculine when she's being pressured into wearing a dress for Gretchen and Lucas's wedding, and she says something like,
The thought of wearing a dress like that makes me want to...
thinking about wearing that dress makes me want to throw up. She even shifts into her werebear form and destroys it. I think a guy died over the ordeal. It hit a little close to home, and on top of that, she's got her own forced marriage plotline. So it was just all grossly uncomfortable. Adoptive mom dies in the first episode while protecting the protagonist, and she keeps appearing in his dreams and nightmares as he has like a PTSD association with that. We don't really know anything else about her. Oh, the love interest? Oh yeah, she died doing something just incredibly stupid. So thus ends the chapter on misogyny. Are you guys ready to talk about the parallels to racist depictions of Native and Indigenous people through modern media? Yeah, I don't think I'm really the one to give you a deep dive in on that one either, but I sure noticed it. And it wasn't super comfy, I'll say that. There's a human-centric worldview throughout, and weird concepts that some animals are inherently one way over another.
Lords pledged allegiance to the noble wolves.
Given the line,
What the world give for the return of a wolf.
like the way Gretchen talks about the history is very weird if you think about it. Lions are also pack hunters who rely on their community to get things done, so why are they the bad guys when wolves are the good guys, you know what I mean? Would have made more sense to have a jaguar or another lone predator species if you were going to go with that, but Then it wouldn't have been European coat of arms animal-centric, probably. That's probably what it was. The idea that animals of species don't have personalities, that wolves are always angry for some reason. Look up wolf sanctuary videos. It'll cure your mental block. To clarify, I mean that nobody transforms because they're super happy in this world. It's almost always entirely out of anger and fear, and it kind of pushes this idea that if the wolf only comes out when you're angry and does destructive things, then wolves must be angry and destructive. And they're not. They're pack animals who live in family groups. I've heard similar descriptions for humans. Like when Derek goes on a rampage and almost loses himself to the wolf.
If you change now, you may never change back.
After his crush dies, and the show presents that as he's gonna be an animal forever now. He's acting like this because of wolf brain, instead of, wow, he's upset that his crush just died in front of him and he's been through a bit right now, and these are his emotions and no one else's. Like, what's up with that? Finally, just the logic. The physics of the world and the random stuff that will happen for the bit feels a little like a dream where you wake up and be like, it was so real. Wait, geese aren't the size of my house? But I'd rather go on about that in a separate video with an overall less serious vibe. All that said, I think I've done my part. Gave a fair warning. Oh, right, and there's also necromancy. Like I promised the kids at the beginning of the video. I'm not telling you to outright ban Wolf King in your house. Your kids might be very eager to see it, and it's got really cool looking animated werebees. I would have begged and probably gone behind my parents' back for that as a kid if I had to. But you can plan ahead. You can think about stuff like, are your kids even old enough to understand the full ick factor of the Queen plot, or will it just fly over their heads for now? Planning answers ahead of time to questions they might have, planning on being nearby, or watching it with them so that you can interject in a fun way, not a I'm hating on your show way, to question things that don't make sense and remind your kid how reality works because they are young and don't have a lot of real life experience yet. You know, whatever your parenting style. I know I said I'm a non-binary, but my favorite style is the last one. You can actually teach your kids a lot of good stuff by just watching shows with them, even if it's not a great show. Like how conversations could help with so many characters avoid problems, or discussing how you would deal with being in a situation on screen. Literally, just being there and reacting naturally, voicing an opinion if a character does something extreme. This gives the kids an extra layer of context. Also, you get quality time together while having fun and eating snacks. I think that right there may be the very definition of parental guidance. Thank you and have a great day.